Greetings all my hair comrades, Rick here. Quick video today. This whole hair replacement, hair system, toupee, whatever you want to call it, when you start this journey, it's pretty much a continuous one. You just keep learning and you learn by your own mistakes. And I know that I've certainly done that. So I have had several guys in my chair to get their systems cut in. They've reached out to me and they've been close enough. I had one guy even that flew a distance to come and do that. It's just crazy, but I was happy to help him. But here is a problem that I have seen. So I don't, in the barbershop, install hair systems, okay? I will cut it in when it's on your head. And so I have had guys come in that have done a great job installing the system, and guys come in that haven't done quite so well. So today's video is to help you do well in installing and getting that thing on your head. Let's start with the template. I can't tell you how important that is. And if you're like me, if you've worn hair for a while, your bald spot has receded out to the sides a little bit more than it was. I know right at first, my template was only about this wide, just a strip down the middle. Well, now it's way out to here. So you'll have to make adjustments with that. And with that template, I have also found that if you're going to air, it's better to air on the side of it being a tiny bit too small than for it to be too long or too wide. And this is why. Whenever you can do a pretty good job of getting that system in the right place at your hairline at the front. And but what you don't want to happen is for it to overlap into your hair. You don't want this system to fold over and go down past your hairline into the hair. Because what's going to happen then is you're going to either have a loose flap if you put the adhesive on your scalp, or if you're like me and you put the adhesive on the unit itself, then you lay that down, then you've got this glue stuck in your bio hair in the back. And so I have done that before. I've cut the template just a little too long, and so I've had to go back and trim some more off. But it's difficult if you do that, because whenever you go to take the system off, well, then that's all stuck in your bio hair. And that's a real easy way to get some rips and tears in the back of that system, which you want to avoid. The second thing that I've seen is when you're cutting the front of the system, the hairline, when it's brand new, and you're cutting that little strip of skin across the front. So let's say you have particular ideas about the shape of that hairline. Let's say you want it to go back and recede a bit like this one does. Or if you want it just to come all the way across to your temples, to your hairline, where it's just barely a curve. They have different things for that. There's a CC curve and A, all this kind of stuff. And so the tendency might be, and I just had someone to do this, is to cut into, not just cut that skin off, but cut into the hairline to create the hairline that you want. Big mistake. So what you want to do with that front hairline is you want to cut just the skin right up to the edge of the hair, all the way across the way it is. But if you want, this recession, then the thought was, I'm just going to cut into that on the sides. Well, what happened was you've got all this super thick hair right in there, and it's impossible to get it invisible and to get that to disappear and to go away. Now, if you want that recession, this was a question that was on my YouTube channel. If you want that recession, then you're cutting the front of that system across, and let's say you're like me, your hairline goes from about here to here. So what I'm going to do if I want that, I am going to cut that down the back on each side, coming down, and make a pretty much perfect oval across the front. And that's what the hair system does anyway. If you get a stock unit, this HD111 just has a slight oval. Let me see here. Just like that. Now, what that was is me just cutting. Is that the front? Yes, that's the front. That was just me cutting the skin off of that system. And what this oval did is it created a little bit of a recession on both sides, which looks more natural. If I didn't want that, what I would do is cut just a little bit further over to the side and the front and then go back. So you'd have a little bit of a corner right here. And then that would come over in the front and cover that recession, that receding part as well. So the shape of it, I might have one that's done that way. Yeah. Okay, so look at this one. You can see the difference, right? It comes over a little bit further here on each side. It's still that oval in the front because that's where that hairline is on the stock unit. But because I wanted it to cover more of the front of my forehead, you can see it really well that way. I came across, out, and then went back a little bit. So that part and that part sits right on those places that are receding. And so that works. But if you don't want to do that, the trick is this. I think you can see the difference there. Now, you would think, someone said, how do you create that? He referenced me in particular, said, how do you get that on the sides? He couldn't find anyone to give him an answer. Well, here it is, bro. I hope you're watching and I hope you see this, because this will work for you. To do that, again, you don't want that. You want that recession, all of that covered up. There you go, out a little further on the sides. Because see, the first one I showed you that shows more of a recession, it comes across just right here. Comes across right there, and that part's cut off. That's all it takes. That's the tiny little bit that makes the big difference to create that. But once again, let me reiterate, you do not want to cut into the hair of the system. It's no bueno. It's not gonna work. You're not gonna be happy with that. And so, this unit that I have on presently, of course, is the, you've heard me say this, is the Great Almighty HD 111. This is the color. People ask me, what color is it, Rick? Well, okay, so I should know this. I get that, I should. But I just say I need dark brown with 40% gray. And so that's what this is. Now, let's talk about the gray just for a minute, because just like, let me show you some differences here. This 40% right here. This is 60% right here. Woohoo! So, yep. It's a big difference in that baby right there. And you've seen me with this on my head because I do go back and forth. I enjoy doing that. And then I've had a lot of people to say, but Rick, your hair is astonishingly white and your hair is darker. And you've also heard me say that this right here, that's my hair. That's bio hair right there. You see how dark that is? All of that. And so whenever it's really gray and I do a disconnected haircut, I can kind of cut it to a point that it blends in on the sides really well, but it's really hard in the back because the back of my hair is dark. I'm gonna try to turn around here. You can see that the back of my hair is dark. So if I wear a really gray hair system, this part doesn't bother me. I can handle that because I've got gray all the way up to here, and some of the system can come down here over the dark. But I can't let the system hair come all the way down the back of my head. And so what you see, it doesn't matter how careful I cut it in, it doesn't matter how thin I make that back part, you can still see that it's gray hair that goes to dark hair that goes to gray hair. So it's like, it's very schizo looking on my head. It's like Rick doesn't know what he wants to be. So for all practical purposes, it's better for me if I still keep a little dark hair. Now, talking about the gray, after a while, this system, I have actually even colored the back. It's not coming out on the video, I can see, but I put some dark streaks in the back of this to help with that blend problem in the back so that I could still wear this system. I think I have one It's a better example of that. Yep, you can see I've dyed the back of that. See, there's darker in there. Let me see if I can, there, yeah, you can see that. All that right in there is darker hair. And that's to help blend with that a little bit. But honestly, that's just too much trouble for me to do all of that, but it'll work. But back to the gray. Natural gray hair. Sometimes someone is fortunate enough that they have this silvery white hair. But 99.9% of the time, it's going to yellow a bit. That gray hair is going to start looking dingy. My beard, I put a little bit of a rinse on it to make it look a little whiter so that it's not yellow, because if I don't, it's dingy and it just, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And so the same thing is true with hair systems. Now, I always get synthetic gray hair, my personal choice, because I like it better. You know, I'm always teasing clients and I'm gonna say, well, you know, beauty comes in a bottle, you get that, right? And so sometimes they think that's funny, right? So that natural gray hair is going to yellow. The hair in the system, if it's synthetic, is going to yellow. It is going to get dingy looking, plus the natural darker hair is going to get a little bit dingy. So what I do with that is I use it's called the weekly rinse. And the color of it is white mink. Now that's pretty appropriate, isn't it? That's what's on this beard, and that's what I've put on this hair. And I think you can see how sparkly and great looking the color of that hair is, how shiny and sparkly. It did not look like that when I stuck it on my head. It was dingy looking. It's just like it had been washed in muddy water or something, you know what I'm saying? And so what that rinse does is it not only makes the gray sparkly, but it also enriches the dark hair. And this kind of speaks for itself. And up closer, you can see, oh, maybe in the videos his hair is not as dark as I thought it was. It's just, you know, lighting's kind of an issue. Yeah, see, not too bad. So and that rinse is like water. I mean, it's super thin. I pour some in my hand and kind of just put it through there, and it is amazing the difference that makes for the hair color. It's white mink. It's weekly rinse, sometimes difficult to find. I've gotten it on Amazon before, and because my supplier sometimes has a problem getting it, and it's very important to me for that color to be sparkly. So many different aspects of it, so many different things to consider. If the cut-in's not right, it's not going to look natural. If your template's not cut right and it doesn't fit your head right, it's not going to look natural. If that front hairline is not cut appropriately in the way it's supposed to be, it's not going to look natural. And if you come to me and the hairline's not done right, it makes me look bad, because there's nothing I can do to fix that, really. So I'll do the best I can. I did the best that I could. And we all learn, and lessons learned, of course. But so just those things, I think, that will be very, very helpful in you finding success in what you do. So the process of getting hair on your head doesn't take long. You've seen me do it in less than 10 minutes. Get in there, plop it on there. But then I put product in it. I put a little color rinse in it. Then I spend time blowing it dry. And you will also find that every system has, most of them will have a body. The stock system has a body wave in it. My personal preference is when it has a little more than body. I like for it to have a little curl in it. It makes styling for me easier. But my natural bio hair had a little bit of curl in it. So if yours don't, you probably wouldn't want that. But because of that, every unit I get, I put it on my head, I comb it, and I say, now let's see what this one's gonna do. Because they all seem to want to do something a little bit different. I see where the wave falls. I see the direction that the hair's coming out of the system. Sometimes the hair is kind of put in, it appears to me kind of this way, and it kind of grows back right at the front. I don't like that. I like it for when it comes forward. That way you get more of a natural curve as the hair goes back. But whenever you get a new system on your head, I would advise you to do this. The most important thing is that it look natural. So if you have a predisposed idea of exactly how you want it to be styled, I can force it to do that. And the first few times you do it, you can kind of train it to do that. But I think it's a lot more successful just to come in and say, let's see, okay, that wants to part there, and kind of go with the flow of what the system wants to do. And so, a lot of little tips there that'll make a big difference for you. So guys, I want to say thank you so much for all of your comments. It's been really, really amazing to hear from you. The channel's growing. I'm still the little guy, but the channel's growing. I'm getting close to 1,000 subscribers. So if you're new to this channel, make this guy super happy right here. It would really thrill me to death. And like and subscribe to the channel. I tend to make friends with everybody. I just can't help myself. So just know you're important to me, and I'll try to answer any question you might have. So hey guys, peace out. Have a great day. Be happy, and let's do this. All right, take care, guys.